This is a sequel to the video message which I recorded earlier when I was in the town centre in Ipswich. I've now been in the town centre of Ipswich and I'm coming home, walking home by the river, which I think you can see that, the other side of the trees there. And it's a lovely day here in Ipswich. But never mind the river, never mind the weather. The reason I'm recording this is to do a follow-up to that message which I gave earlier regarding me wearing this shirt which says Jesus changed my life. I've met 3 people today. Well, I've met 2 and come into close contact with a 3rd. And let me explain what I mean. As I was in the town centre, one lady stopped, spoke to me, and she thought she knew my face from somewhere. And she did, and we eventually ascertained where it was that we had met many years ago. And I didn't know the lady, but she had seen my sweatshirt here. She was a Christian, and we had a brief chat. A little later on, I saw a man with bags, shopping bags, and he stopped. He passed me, but then he stopped and he called out to me. I stopped, turned round. He was a foreign gentleman whose command of English was not the best, but he could make himself understood. And he made it clear to me that Jesus had changed his life. So we had a very brief conversation. Really, it was him explaining to me that before he used to drink alcohol a lot. I don't know whether he was an alcoholic, but he indicated he used to drink a lot and take drugs. His point being that Jesus had changed him, had changed his life. And then the 3rd gentleman I saw from a short distance. I didn't have a conversation with him, but he was sitting on a motorised lawn mower. He was cutting the grass, probably a local council worker, but it doesn't matter who he was working for. He looked at me and he had a big smile on his face, a big smile, and he put his thumbs up like this. And I smiled back at him and put my thumbs up back to him. He did that as a direct result of me wearing this particular sweatshirt saying Jesus changed my life. So in the space of not very long, and I apologise for the noise over there is some building work going on. In the space of not a very long time, I encountered, if that's the right word, 3 people, 2 of whom I had a conversation with, and one I had a visual conversation, if you like. And it's encouraging to me. It is, that people respond. Not everybody responds, of course, but I see people looking at my sweatshirt or whatever clothing I'm wearing with Jesus, a message on there. I see people reading the message as they walk past me, and they don't stop, but they walk past. But who knows? I don't know. I'm just one small brick in a big wall that the Lord may be building in their lives. The apex of which, the top of that wall being, they're coming to faith in Jesus, becoming born again. So I'm encouraged. And I would like to think that the 3 people I have spoken to, or spoken to 2 and had a communication with a 3rd, I would like to think that it's encouraged those people as well. Because who knows, they may, when they return to their homes, they may speak to their relatives or their friends, whoever they are in contact with. They may speak to someone and say, do you know what, today I saw I saw a bloke in town and he was wearing a sweatshirt saying Jesus changed my life. It might be a conversation starter. It might be the means by which they can then speak to somebody else about Jesus having changed, being the life changer, of which he certainly is, of course. all Christians should be able to give a testimony, be able to give a message of how Jesus has changed their lives. Because if Jesus has not changed your life, then, well, maybe you are not a Christian. You're not born again. Because Jesus is in the business, as we say, of changing lives, rescuing people from darkness into light. That's a change. And if you cannot relate to that, if you have not experienced that change and are able to talk about it, well, maybe, just maybe, you are still in darkness. I don't know. I'm not commenting on any one particular person. But we should we not be able to give an example or examples of the way Jesus has been living in us, in our lives, living his life through us for the benefit not only of us, but to enable us to be ambassadors for or to other people. Ambassadors for Christ, which we are. Scripture tells us that in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. We are ambassadors. So the blessings of being born again, having a changed life, are certainly for us as individuals, but also to be shared with other people. And that is, as I said in my earlier video message, that is why I wear clothing appropriate to the message which I'm sharing. Jesus has changed my life.